G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to this most wonderful spring day here in Sydney. It's Monday morning. I'm on my lunch break at the moment, and I thought I'd just come down here to Circular Quay and deliver another session of Jim's 5am Club. Today's going to be a little bit different to the normal sessions. It's not going to be a book summary, but it's just going to be a talk. So we look up there onto the majestic harbour bridge, and we can see the flags flying at half mast, and we are in mourning for the death, the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of Australia, the Queen of the Commonwealth, and one of the greatest queens to have ever reigned on earth. What I want to do today, though, is talk about another queen, the greatest queen of all, and that queen is the Virgin Mary, the Theotokos, the Mother of God. Let me say that again, the Mother of God. How else is she described? The portal, the throne. There are just so many descriptions about the most wonderful and the greatest queen of all. But today I want to focus a little bit more about the Queen's parents, the Queen, the Virgin Mary's parents, whose names were Joachim and Anna. A lot of people don't know the detail that I'm going to go through now, because it's not written in the Gospels, it's not written in the epistles, but it is part of church tradition. And what I'm going to do is first of all describe where that church tradition comes from and where these details come to us from, to help take some of the mystery and the mystique out of some of these teachings. So as I said before, there's not very much detail from scripture, but we have some writings called apocryphal, or the hidden writings, that were available in the church, and has a mixture of truth and untruth. So let's put it into perspective. So by the time of the first ecumenical council, the church was under tremendous pressure from heresy, from people trying to undermine the church. So the bishops of the church came together at that first ecumenical council in order to sort things out and to put some structure around the beliefs of the church. And one of the first exercises that they needed to do was to try and remove some of the heresies, some of the untruths, because there were people within the church and outside of the church who were hell-bent on trying to damage the church. So the New Testament is made up of 27 books, and those books were selected by the church out of 90 or more books and scripts and manuscripts that were available to the church back in the days of the early Christian beginning. So once again, what we're saying here is that there were at least 90 books or letters, and the church had to, in its wisdom, identify and separate the ones that were true from the ones that were partly true to the ones that were completely untrue. So as you can understand, that in itself was a tremendous exercise. And a lot of letters were written after 150 AD. And even though they had the name of disciples or people on the bottom, a lot of those were fake authors of those letters. So why would fake authors write letters about the church? Well, the church was persecuted. The church was a threat to some of the authorities of the time, and there were the Jews, the Gnostics, and others who thought that it would be good to seed some untruths just to unsettle things and to create fear, uncertainty and doubt in order to attack the church. So as we said here, the 27 letters that made up the New Testament were the ones that were accepted wholeheartedly by the church as being the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. But the source of this information that I'm talking about today is a monk in Greece called Geron Nektarios, who is very well versed in the scriptures and the history of the church. So what I'm about to say today on this vlog is not my opinion, but it's what the monk has said, who is a person of the Greek Orthodox Church. So as we said, the church is made up of the New Testament, the scriptures, but it's also made up of word of mouth, of tradition, both tradition with a capital T and tradition with a small letter T. And one of the books that weren't accepted by the early church was the book of St. James or Jacovos, the Testament of Jacovos. And the reason why it wasn't included in the New Testament was that it included both truth and falsity. So the church was able to separate the truth from the falsity, and this book, this apocryphal book of the New Testament, is the one that is used to understand a little bit better about the birth, the death, and the life of the Virgin Mary. And the church has accepted some of the story that I'm about to say, and what I'm about to tell you is the things that have been accepted. What we also need to understand is that this also happened in the Old Testament, where there were books in the Old Testament that were false or partly true, and that had to be either removed or included in part in the Old Testament. So what we're about to do now is just to go and examine in a little bit more detail who were the parents of the Virgin Mary. So as we said before, their names were Joachim and Anna, which comes from Hannah. So Joachim was the son of Eliachim, and he came from the line of David. He was a very wealthy man, and he on many occasions offered many gifts and many sacrifices to the church to redeem the sins of his life. Joachim was married to Anna, or Hannah, who came from a family where her father was Mantham, who came from the Levi priests, and he was a priest himself, and his wife's name was Maria. So the Virgin Mary's parents were, as I said before, Joachim and Anna. Joachim's father was Mantham, was a priest, and his mother was Mary. So hence the Virgin Mary took her name from her grandmother, the wife of Mantham. So the parents of the parents of the grandparents of the Virgin Mary, Mantham and Mary, had 3 children. One was called Mary, the other one was called Sobe, and the other one was called Anna. Anna was the mother of the Virgin Mary. Sobe was the mother of Elizabeth, who was the mother of John the Baptist, and Mary, the eldest, was the mother of Salome, who was with the Virgin Mary for most of her life, at the birth of Jesus, and throughout her life. So Jesus and John the Baptist were cousins. Mary, the Virgin Mary, and John the Baptist's mother were close relatives. So the story goes on, as we said before, that Joachim was very wealthy, and he used his wealth for the worship and charity. A third of his wealth was used for his own living and lifestyle. A third was given to the church, and a third was used for charity. So the story becomes very interesting now, because Joachim and Anna, the parents of the Virgin Mary, had no children, and it was said back in those days that anybody who didn't have children were basically cursed by God. It was a curse of God for people to not have children. And these 2 people, Joachim and Anna, were ostracized and isolated from the rest of the community. So much so that when Joachim would go to church to offer his sacrifices and his gifts, the priests would tell him to go to the end of the line because he was unworthy, and to allow other people to go before him, people who had children and who had been blessed. So, as you can understand, Joachim and Anna were very, very sorrowful that they didn't have children, they couldn't have children, and they were advanced in their years, into their 70s. And Joachim decided to go into the desert and to go and pray for his family, go and pray for the children. So where he went into the desert is quite significant as well. He went to a place, to a cave, to an isolated place where Saint Elijah went to pray in the Old Testament, the Saint Elijah of the Old Testament. He went to that cave where the crow would come to feed Elijah on a daily basis. And he was there for a long, long time. So much so that his wife, Mary, his wife Anna, thought that she would never ever see him again. So he prayed, she prayed, and they continued to pray until one day the Archangel Gabriel came to Joachim with the news that he would be gifted a child, and he also, the Archangel Gabriel also went to his wife Anna and told her the news as well. And they continued to pray, and were honoured with a little girl who they named Mary, Mariam, after the grandmother, after Joachim's mother, Mary. And because they were elderly in their years, and they decided before the birth of Mary to dedicate her to the glory of God and to the service of God, they agreed to dedicate Mary to the Temple of Solomon, to the service of God. Mary, the Virgin Mary, received her name on the 8th day, just like all Jews of the time. And even now, in our Christian Orthodox faith, the Greek Orthodox faith, all children are called to be named on day 8 of their life. A lot of people think that a child is named at their baptism, at their christening, but this is false. A child, a person, receives their name on the 8th day. And the name Mariam means queen, means beauty, means hope. And when she was 3 years of age, her parents, Joachim and Anna, dedicated her to the Temple of Solomon, where she lived in the church, in the Holy of Holies. And it was Zacharias, the father of John the Baptist, who received her into the church, and he was also the husband of Elizabeth, who, as I mentioned before, was the mother of John the Baptist. So the Virgin Mary stayed within the Temple of Solomon, expressing her service to God, praying up until the age of about 12 to 14. Her parents, Joachim, died. So Joachim died 8 years after the Virgin Mary was dedicated to the temple, and he was 92 years of age when he died. And Anna died 11 months later, so she was 83. And they are buried there, and there is a tomb in Gethsemane where both Joachim and Anna are reposed and were buried. So there you go, an interesting topic, a difficult topic, but something that I am really fascinated about. Many years ago I decided to pursue my Greek Orthodox faith and learn as much as I could to hopefully one day be able to pass on to my children, my grandchildren, friends and families and others the basis of the faith, because there are so many aspects, so many elements to it, and so many mysteries that many don't understand or are not aware of. And one of the jobs that I like to do is to try and unravel some of those mysteries and shed some light on it. One of the other mysteries that we have, or that we all may have, is why are the flags flying at half-mast? And the reason for that is that there is a mystery there as well, that in ancient times it was believed that the flag of death flies above the flag, and hence in your mind's eye you can probably see there are two flags, one flag above the other. The invisible flag is the flag of death, and the one below is the national flag, or the flag of whichever country you're in. So there's an answer to many things, but we need to scratch the surface, we need to dig, we need to try and identify what's going on. And as I said, it was a difficult topic today. I'm not a theologian, I'm not a priest, but what I do like to do, as I said before, is to try and live, learn and pass it on. So I hope you gain something from this today, and to understand that there is a source. There's a source of truth, there's a source of tradition to all of these things that are said and believed and followed, and it's by understanding this source that we become enlightened ourselves. Anyway, take care, bye for now, and we'll chat again soon. Yassas.